Hopefully this music's not copyrighted. I mean, people were allowed to co-stream alongside the direct, so. Space! I mean, it looks gorgeous. The fiery blowhogs. Okay. This was the first thing I caught. These are fucking baby snagrets. Which I don't know if these existed in the third game, because like I said, I didn't play it. I only watched it. But if you don't know what a snagret is, snagrets are basically like these long serpent things that pop up out of the ground. They have like a head of a bird and a really, really long beak. They're horrible. They're atrocious, nasty monsters. And I'm gonna kill the shit out of these babies. Fuck them babies. So this is another reason why I never really got so much into Pikmin 3 or really wanted to, because in the first and the second game, you play as the same character pretty much. And in the third game, those characters show up. They're like side characters, but you don't play as them. You play as whole new people. So I'm sitting here like, well, what about the dudes I already got invested in and spent so much time with? Listen, I'm not a person that adapts very well to change sometimes. Unless it's like, you know, like something I initiate, something I want to do. So playing as all these new people, I don't know. I wasn't vibing with it. It's the onion at the Pikmin. This was also something they introduced in the third game. They combined all of the onions into one. And if you've never played Pikmin before, you may have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And you're just kind of sitting there like, onion? What's this bitch talk about? Are we cooking? Are we cooking something? Are we cooking onions in here? No. You'll love one specific thing. I think I know what you mean. And I think you're wrong. Because this does feel this feels more like the third game than anything else. This feels to the third game like the second game felt to the first game. Pikmin 2 is my favorite game in the entire series. It still keeps the same vibe and the same, like there's some new mechanics here and there, but for the most part, it just takes the first game and expands on it, which I feel like is a good sequel. It doesn't add too much new stuff. It doesn't get wild and crazy with all the new additions. It keeps the same feel, the same atmosphere of the first game, but just kind of like, you know, just makes it that much more. The third one just went straight out of here, and I feel like this one is going even farther. Partly because we're playing as entirely new people. So in Pikmin 1, we had the standard 3 colors. We had red, yellow, and blue. In the second game, they introduced 2 new colors of Pikmin, which were purple and white. Like I said, they added some new stuff, but it wasn't too much. I felt like it was a nice addition. But in the third game, they completely did away with the purple and white Pikmin, which were some of my favorite ones. Instead, they added rock Pikmin and flying Pikmin, which I don't know why that bugs me, because before, Pikmin were solely based off like colors, you know? And then you start throwing like rocks and then like flying ones. Now you've got ice. And like I feel like just stick to colors. I don't know if it's just because, like I said, I have a hard time adapting to change in certain scenarios, but I hate this. And it gets worse. Like I said, in the second and third game, each game we would get 2 new Pikmin types, in addition to the original 3, our second Pikmin type is a dog. We don't even get a second Pikmin type. It's a dog. Which, yes, the dog is adorable. I love the dog, and I'm gonna protect him with my life. But it's like, did y'all really run out of ideas that quickly? Were you that hard up for something new? You couldn't even come up with another second Pikmin type? We have a dog? Like, I feel like I'm unreasonably upset about this. Oh god, the Wallywogs.
Oh, whoa!
Oh god. Oh. This is where I started stressing. So in every iteration of Pikmin series, like one of the iconic bosses from the first one is called Beady Longlegs, which is a giant spider with huge legs that stomps all over your Pikmin. And they've been adding new types in every Pikmin game. I guess this is the newest type, and it's gonna haunt my nightmares for the rest of time. Hate that. Okay, I don't know if this was in the third game, but this is a Pikmin 2 enemy, Empress Ball blacks. So I'm just like a little touch excited to see. Not gonna lie, I don't know if y'all could tell. Back here, she's birthing some babies. Nintendo.
Why is there a vagina here?
But yeah, she's actively birthing. And these little fuckers are the literal Hellspawn. They're terrible. Hate them. They're an absolute pain to deal with. But I do like that they are bringing back some enemies from the previous games. Because like I said, I don't remember Empress Ball Blacks being in the third game. I could be wrong. Yeah, she's a fertile myrtle. And yeah, then she does this rolly attack. Runs over the Pikmin and all her babies. Okay, so this is one of the things that I'm actually kind of excited about. Because like I said, Pikmin 2 was my favorite game in the entire series. And I guess that's kind of a hot take because one of the things that they dislike so much about the Pikmin 2 game is the cave system. You could go into these caves to look for treasure, and there were a whole bunch of like new enemies and bosses that weren't available on the surface world. It was always like, go in and see what you're gonna get. I really enjoyed it. This looks like the exact same thing. They didn't have this in the third game. So if they're bringing back the cave systems, also because it said before, earlier on, we were collecting treasure in this, like with the little binocular thingies that we found. It said new treasure found. Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 are kind of like, you know, the original Pikmin games. But then with Pikmin 3, especially because it was such a huge gap, it almost feels like it works a little bit better as like a reboot of the series, even though it is definitely still a sequel based on the story that's within the game. For Pikmin 1, the whole story is your character crash lands on this planet and you have a limited amount of time to fix up your ship or you're gonna die. The second game, you are not on a time limit, but you are collecting treasure basically to pay off your debt for your employment company or something. You're just collecting stuff, as much stuff as you can. And it feels like with the third game, it kind of went back to that original, you have a limited amount of time to do this or you're gonna die. And it feels like with the fourth game, they're redoing, in a sense, the second game, where you're collecting treasure and stuff, and maybe there is no time limit. So yeah, especially because like, I don't know if that's like part of the ship or the whole ship that goes in there with them. That looks exactly like a cinematic from the second game when they escaped the caves. So it feels like they're bringing back the cave system. Oh, but we're not done yet, besties. Spooky.
Huh?
Nintendo, excuse me, please explain. So this is what I was talking about. I really feel like the second game was a really wonderfully done sequel, in my opinion, because it expands on the first game without going too overboard. At this point, we're getting fucking, like, instead of a Pikmin type, we get a dog. And then what, laser eye bulb orbs? It feels like we've kind of crossed the line a bit with Pikmin, just a little bit. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. I am not gonna be playing the game right when it comes out. I might play it at some point, but I would like to watch someone else play it, at least for a little bit first, to see how it is. To see if I want to throw $60 into it.